Welcome, 7th graders. We're going to be doing 6.5 integers on a coordinate plane. So for a little warm-up review, we're going to plot the ordered pair in a coordinate plane. So remember, these are ordered pairs. This one should have another parentheses. So first, plot 5, 5. So remember, this is the x-coordinate. This is the y-coordinate. So my y-axis, my x-axis. So to plot P, I'm going to go to 5 on my x-axis. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then I'm going to go, to 5 on my y-axis. So I'm going to go up 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And that's right here. And this P right here, that means I should label it P. Now again for Q, so here's my x. Here's my y. So let's see, Q would be, I have to go to the right 2, right, because that's my x coordinate, and then I have to go up 1, because that's my y coordinate, and I plot Q right here. So we're going to extend that today. Whoops. So how can you graph and locate points that contain negative numbers on a coordinate plane? So our previous coordinate plane only had positive numbers, but of course, negative numbers exist, so we have to include them on our coordinate plane. So let's look at this coordinate plane in this definition. So a coordinate plane is formed by the intersection of a horizontal number line and a vertical number line. So if you look at this picture right here, we have that vertical number line and that horizontal number line that intersect, right? And you can tell those are just like the vertical and horizontal ones we were working with last week. They have the positive numbers and the negative numbers. So where they intersect is called the origin, and that's at called point 0, 0. And let's see, we also have these different quadrants in the quadrant plane. So quadrant 1, that's the one you're used to. That's the positive one. And then we go in counterclockwise order. Whoops. There we go. Go counterclockwise to quadrant 2, then quadrant 3, then quadrant 4. So it goes in a counterclockwise order when labeling quadrants. And just another review, we just talked about it, but an ordered pair, that's what they call the point that we're plotting, is like this, where the first numbers are x-coordinate, which tells us the location of it on the x-axis, and our second one is a y-coordinate, the location on the y-axis. So let's do an example. So which ordered pair corresponds to point T? So let's just find T first of all. So T, looking on my coordinate plane, T is right here. So I want to know which ordered pair corresponds with it. So first let's find the x-coordinate, okay? The x-coordinate would be, let's see, here's my x-axis right here. The horizontal one, let's see, it looks like it's 1, 2, 3 over, 3 to the right. So my x-coordinate's 3. What about my y-coordinate? Let's see, my y-axis, remember that's my vertical, my vertical one, the up and down one. So we want to know how far up or how far down it is. Well, T is 1, 2, 3 down. And if we look over here, it's at -3. So -3 is my y-coordinate, or we can think 3 down, going down from 0, we get to the negatives. So let's see, let's put our x-coordinate and y-coordinate together. So remember it's x and y. And what would we get? We'd get 3, -3. And looking at my options, let's see, it looks like the C is our correct option, 3, -3. Okay, let's do another example. So plot -2 and -3 and 0, -3.5 in a coordinate plane. Describe the location of the point. Whenever a question says describe the location of the point, what it wants to know is what quadrant it's in. That's just kind of our fancy speak for asking what quadrant is it in. You don't need to go into some lengthy description of how exactly it's located. it wants to know what quadrants it's in. So let's start with plotting A. So remember, our first one is our x, our second is our y. So we're going to go to -2 on the x, which is, let's see, right here. And then we're going to go +3 up on y. So 1, 2, 3 gets us right here. And I'm going to label it with an A. Now, what quadrant is it in? Remember, our quadrant you're used to is 1 right here. And as we go to the counterclockwise, we increase. So 1, that's quadrant 1. So this is quadrant 2. So it's in quadrant 2. So we plotted point A, and A is in quadrant 2. So whenever they talk about quadrants, they like to use fancy Roman numerals, okay? Next one, let's plot point B. So let's see. Remember, it goes first we have our x-coordinate, then is our y-coordinate. So x is 0, meaning we're just going to stay right here at the origin. We're not going to move any right or any left. And then let's see, our y-coordinate is -3.5. So I'm going to go down -3.5. I'm going to find -3.5 on my vertical axis. So I'm going to go down 1, down 2, down 3, and just go down a half more right in between -3 and -4. There it is, and I'm going to label it with B. Now, what quadrant is it in? Well, it's not in a quadrant, right? We could say that B is between what two quadrants? If we keep extending this, right? Remember, we go counterclockwise. Here's quadrant 3, and here's quadrant 4. It's quad 3 and quadrant 4. You could also say it is on the vertical axis or the y-axis. Okay, before you all go, let's do a word problem. So a blizzard hit the town at midnight. The table shows the hourly temperatures from midnight to 8 a.m. Display the data in a line graph. So we have our data, we have our graph paper, our grid paper. So what we have here is on our x-axis, we have our hours after midnight, and on our y-axis, we have the temperature. So the problem we want to find or solve is we're going to display the data in a line graph. How we're going to get it, so we're not really solving a problem this time, is we're just displaying it. And how we're going to do that is we're going to plot the points. So what are my points? Well, my points are each of these table values right here. And they tell you that the tops are our x values, the bottoms are our y values. So that first mark in the table is 0 and 7. That corresponds to the ordered pair 0, 7. The second one corresponds to 1, 5, because our top rows are x's, our bottom rows are y's. So let's start plotting these because we have a lot to plot. So first of all, 0, 7, well, that's 0 on the x-axis. And we go up 7 on our y-axis, so that's right here. And again, 7 isn't labeled, but there's one mark between 6 and 8, so that would have to be 7. It goes 6, 7, 8. Next one is 1, 5. So let's see, I'm going to go over 1 on the right on my x-axis. So again, 1 isn't labeled, but that would be directly in between 0 and 2. So that would be right here. And then I'm going to go up 5 on my y-axis. Again, 5 isn't labeled. If this is tricking you up, you can always label these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And go on like that. Next one, 2, 3. So I'm going to go over on 2 on the x-axis and up 3 on the y-axis. Next one, 3, 0, meaning I'm going to go to 3 on my x-axis, and I'm not going to move up or down. I'm just going to stay at 0 on the vertical y-axis. Let's see, my next one is going to be 4, -1. So I'm going to go to 4 on x, and down 1, that's about right here, right? Because even though -1 isn't listed on my vertical axis, it would be between 0 and -2, right? So right here at that line. My next one, 5, -4, so I'm going to go to 5. I'm going to go down 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, which is at the vertical location of where the -4 is. Next one, 6, -5, so again I'm going to go to 6. I'm going to go down to -5, which would be right here between -4 and -5. And again, if you need to, when you do these, you can always draw out like this to make sure you're at the right spots. I'm over 6, I'm down 5, right? My next one is 7, -2, so I'm at 7. Going to find 7 on the x-axis and then find -2 on the y-axis. That's right here. Again, right, 7 on the x, -2 on the y. And last one, so 8, 2. So let's see, 8 is right here, and we go up here. So I'm at 8 on the x-axis and 2 on the y-axis. Now, if you noticed, it said that to display the data in a line graph, what it wants you to do is in a line graph, we just have to connect our dots to finish up our graph. So starting up here at my first point, I'm just going to connect them. Again, if you're on a computer, it's not a big deal if you connect it. If you want to add lines, you can, but I don't feel like you have to. So there I go. I displayed my data in this line graph. And it's also probably good to label my x-axis, right? Those were my hours after midnight. And again, I got that from right here. And my y-axis was, oh no, my temperature in degrees Fahrenheit. Thank you so much for watching this video. Make sure you do the on your own problems left in your notes. Thank you.